one.
Hi, just on our way down to hurry for our meeting tonight. We've stopped at the Waitaha River to have a look at this proposed hydro scheme. It's one of these fast track projects that we generally don't like too much. However, this seems to be one of the better ones. It was a project that was proposed back quite a few years ago and turned down by David Parker when he was Minister for the Environment. It's been resurrected under the fast track legislation, and what is better about this project is that it is a community project of West Power, so it ideally would generate power for the local community. It seems to have a reasonably high level of community support, although part of what we're doing down here is talking to as many people as we can to get a really good handle on what people think are the advantages and disadvantages. One of the main concerns last time was the effect on kayaking, because if you look way up the river, it's a beautiful gorge up there. We went up and had a look at the gorge earlier. You couldn't really see too much from where we were at the road end, and we didn't have time to go and walk up the valley any further, but it is a stunning looking gorge, and it's one of these wild areas for kayaking. However, what seems to have been done is some kind of agreement with the kayaking interest to at least minimise the harm on recreational kayaking. So again, that's generally a positive, that the people that are affected by these proposals, if they can work out some agreement that minimises the harm, it's a good thing. It's a good thing, we think. But we're open to your views on this. The other thing about it, it's what's called a run of the river scheme. So that means that they don't block the whole river. My understanding is that they propose a tunnel through the hills, up way upstream, up around the corner. You can't really see from here, but behind these trees. And there would be a tunnel coming through the river, and that would be like a canal that comes back down by the side of the river where they generate the hydropower, and then they put the water back into the river, topping it up. Now that sounds perfect. It's not too bad, but it does have impacts, because what happens is when the water gets diverted, it doesn't all come out evenly back in the river, because they tend to hold up the water until peak generation times, and then at the peak times of the day they let it all run. So you still do effectively get tides in the river, which is quite a change from a natural river which has no tides, although obviously it does have floods. So there will be changes. There's quite a lot of information about what's being proposed on the fast track legislation website, or on the fast track proposals website. So you can have a look on there, more information if you want. But we just thought it was quite good to just stop and have a look at what is going on, because there haven't been any new hydro schemes in recent years. Of all of the types of regenerative power, hydro theoretically is probably the best and the most reliable. There's a project down south. Interestingly, David Parker, who was the minister who stopped this, is involved in the new Lake Onslow project, where they are effectively pumping water uphill into a dam and then proposing to generate power on the way back down. But it may be that these smaller schemes next to local communities are a better solution than a few really mega schemes that are probably going to take many years to set up. So yeah, let us know what you think about this, because we're kind of in two minds about all of this environmental harm on the one hand, but on the other hand we have to facilitate local communities having electricity and whatever they need to live a good life. So yeah, it's all a bit of a balance. So we're really interested in your thoughts. Thanks.